Hey everyone, my name is Katrina Stark, and I'm so excited to be taking you through a skill set that has absolutely transformed both me and my business, and that's storytelling. It's working out how to harness the gold in your journey. And now I don't want to hear any of it. You all have a story, you all have gold. We're going to take you through a nice, simple process that I teach that helps people really uncover their story, whether that be around the product or whether that be around why they said yes to the business. Now, why stories? Stories are so important. Stories over facts all the time, right? When we're dealing with people, we even know ourselves. Someone starts to tell a story, it's like a different part of our brain is activated, and we're way more interested than if somebody's just starting to rattle off facts. Don't get me wrong, there's a great line that we need to walk to educate people and get some of our amazing facts out there. But when we're really talking about the gold and really starting to help somebody understand why either they should say yes or why we said yes, sharing our story is paramount, right? So we can do this in a myriad of ways, but the one way that I find really simple and something that, let's be real, when we're sharing our story, particularly for the first good handful of times, we're quite nervous and we overthink, and sometimes we stumble and sometimes we waver. So the simplicity is key. The more you practice as well, the better and stronger this is going to get. So take it as a little bit of a game. Go out there. Who can you share your story to? How many different people? How many different ways and platforms can you get your voice out there? Now, remember, it's also really important to stay compliant. So when we're sharing our story, particularly in a way that's on social media or somewhere that can be recorded, please remember to utilize things that help us stay super compliant so we can hold the integrity of our beautiful company. But when we talk about our product or our business story, and I will just say, I really like to keep them separate because they're two different markets, right? They're two different huge pain points that actually need their own space. So when we talk about our product story, what is it that you love about this product? Now, if you're having trouble, if you're one of those people that say, I don't have a story, I don't have a product story, I don't have a business story, one of my favorite things to do is actually a brain dump. So grab an A4 piece of paper, and on one side, I want you to write product, and on the other side, I want you to write business. Now, write down everything you love about it. Right? Write down the simplicity of the product. You like taking it, you like the family health starts, you like the benefits. Like, what is it? You like the programs, you like the mindfulness, you like the support. Go into depth. Talk about the benefits, the changes that you've noticed in your body. Get really, really nitty gritty. This is just for you, right? So you can write anything that you like. But the more that you brain dump, the more you're actually going to realize that you really do love this, right? There's some really cool things in your story that you can pull out and help share. Now, when we do that, when we've got our nice little ammunition of things that we can include in our story, we're going to break it down into three parts. Now, you might find that when you get breaking these down into three parts, there's more ideas that are going to go down on your sheet, right? Now, the first part, it is super important, and it's normally the part that people like to skip over because we don't really like being vulnerable as a human species, but it is so important, right? So now is your time to embrace it. It's to come from the heart. It's to be vulnerable. Okay, now the first thing that we talk about is our past. What was happening in the past that led us to, let's say, the product? We'll talk about the product first. What was happening in your life that led you to the product? So when I talk about it, I was feeling quite anxious every day. I was in a situation inside my life that wasn't leading me to feel fulfilled. And every day I was waking up with a pit in my stomach, feeling super anxious, and just knowing that I really wasn't taking care of myself. Right? That's where my past was. Now we can spread that out. I can add more things in. But what I really want you guys to harness is what sucked. What led you to this? What made sense for you to say yes to something? Now, this is the part that we don't want to skip over because this is relatable. This is where people are. And the more brave you are around where you were, the more you inspire them to take action. Right? The more you inspire them to make that purchase, to sign up to the business, to do whatever it is that you are helping them feel supported in by sharing your story. Right? So what did the past look like? What kind of pain was happening there? Now, if we get really good at this, I think you can break down your story in 3 minutes. I think 3 minutes is the most ample space, because I don't know who said it, but it sticked with me forever, is be the trailer, not the movie. Now, if we take it too much further than 3 minutes, I feel like we're bordering into the movie and people tune out, right? You want something really sexy, short, concise, attractive, appealing, that made people think, oh, tell me more about that, right? So where were you in your past? And let's leave a minute for it, okay? What was happening? What sucked? What was going on that made you want to look for something else? Super relatable. Find things in your story that are relatable to other people, okay? Then we talk about present. What happened when you found Juice Plus? What's happening in the present? What changes have you noticed? What benefits are you celebrating because you said yes to this, right? So when I started taking the product and the amazing programs behind them, I was supported by so many people with like-minded issues. I started getting so much better nutrition into my body. I started walking, I started getting out there, I started drinking more water because of the programs involved. The products were so simple and great to take. And I actually started to notice my mindset shift really quickly, right? That was in my story. What are you noticing right now in your story? What's happened? All right, now get into the nitty gritty. Again, let's remember to be compliant. So if we're talking about the product, also include the programs behind them so that we're making sure that we're not enticing anybody to think that this is a miracle pill, right? We're a catalyst to change. We love inspiring healthy living around the world. And yes, that starts with our products, but it's got a lot of amazing stuff behind it as well that really does kickstart people into action. Then we spend a minute there, and then the last minute of our beautiful story, we're going to talk about the future, right? We've done our past, we've done our present, and now we get to talk about the future. What are we calling in? What are we excited to be seeing on our journey, right? Now we're still on the product, so I'm going to say, what do you really want to see? Is it that you want to lose some weight? Is it that you want to be out there running around with the kids more? Is it that you want to be really fit? You know, when it's time for you to slow down and retire, what is it? What things are you really excited to see in your future? And why does it make sense for you to continue on your health journey here with Juice Plus? Right? You see how we did there? We tied a nice little bow on it and we got people excited for the journey to come. So that past, present, future works really well with the product, but it works even more fun with the business because it starts to get you dreaming again. So the past, where were you before you said yes to this business? What was going on? Right? The relatable stuff, not the sugarcoating stuff, the relatable stuff. You know, my story, there's always a couple of key lines in there that just hit people because they've done it too, right? The scrounging around for coins inside the couch, the standing at the checkout and needing to transfer money from one account to the other. Now, of course, it's embarrassing. It wasn't a part of my life that I like, but I love it now because it shows power. It shows just how many people have been in those situations and they've found a way out. Right? That's why we're sharing our story. So don't sugarcoat over it. The more personal and the more vulnerable you can use that first section, the better. But, right, now here's the little flip side. We can't spend so much on that. We have to even it out with what we've noticed. What are some exciting things that we've noticed? What are we loving about the business right now? Is it the community? Is it the extra stream of income? Is it the personal development? Is it the peer group, right? Is it the passion and the purpose, the helping others? What are we loving right now that is really going to be enticing to people? They're going to be thinking, oh, I want some of that, right? That's what I've been looking for. What are we noticing right now that we can share a minute on in our present section when we talk about our business story? You might have to look back to your sheet of paper as well, right? Think about some of the things that you love. And then lastly, this is my favorite part of telling my business story. Where are we going? The future, right? We get to that last minute splitting down about the future. Where are we going? What are you going to build? What are you excited for in the future? You take them on a journey, right? And don't hold back. This is your part to really be someone's dream keeper, and you get to start with yourself. Where are you going to take your family? What are you going to do? What are the things that you're going to be able to create because you said yes to this? Now, this is really important because some people say to me, oh, it'd be so much easier if I had a success story. No, it's not, right? The success story is not important. What's exciting for people is knowing the past, present, and the future of your goals, right? The past is where they were relatable, where they say, oh, yes. The present is where they think, oh, you were brave. You did something different. And now look at you. And the future is like, oh, I want that. Right? Now, if you can share that from your heart, I promise not only will you have an amazing story, but you will captivate people around you from all different directions who are really ready to be able to create something with you. And that's the power of having, our beautiful story-led business. It's captivating. Now find your platform. What does that look like? How do we get our story out there? Being a Juice Plus representative is never about being an influencer, right? It's not about having thousands of followers. It's not about doing amazing, appealing content all the time. What it's about is finding your platform to get your story out there. And that's where, social media is so great, because we can get our story out every day to hundreds, if not thousands of people just by cultivating it there. However, honestly, one of the most successful, if you look at any of our leaders through the decades, face-to-face storytelling is just as valuable, if not more powerful. Right? So now I will leave you with a few little tips just before I go. Remember, trailer, not the movie. So nice little snippet, practice, practice, practice. You will know your lines that are powerful. Get those lines pretty sweet, right? What are the lines? What are the moments in your life where you drew the line in the sand? Can you add them into your story, right? Because they're very, very powerful. And the third one, choose just elements. Don't try and include everything, because you actually take someone so far. Just choose your key elements of that past, present, and future, so you can really tie a neat bow on it and get them asking you more questions about anything else. So I can't wait to hear more of your stories, guys. Big love.